Greetings, kindred friend. When was the last time your body truly experienced complete rest? I am not just talking about closing your eyes to sleep, but the feeling that every step of exhaustion has entirely vanished, making way for a profound recovery from the very roots of your life force. Most of us lie down with the body exhausted after a long day of striving and worrying in a distant land, yet our minds resolutely refuse to stop. Even in the silence of the bedroom, the brain busily chases endless dialogues, uneasy forebodings about health and old age, or anxieties for the children's future. Unintentionally, we force the nervous system to stay awake, standing guard in the dark of night, even when our eyelids are closed. However, my friend, there is a profound truth that Buddhist wisdom always reminds us. Healing has never been an act of craving or coercion. Healing is a grace that only appears the moment your mind stops resisting. Tonight, I want to return to you 7 keys of mindfulness to practice right before you sleep. Sacred bridges for you to awaken the body's natural power of rebirth. Etch this affirmation into your soul to soothe your being. Your body inherently understands perfectly how to heal itself. It is only patiently waiting for your consciousness to feel safe enough. That is all. Take a very soft breath to let the life force begin to flow. We will return to the harbor of peace together right now. Lesson 1. The present is the anchor of safety. Try to quietly identify a strange habit of your mind every night. Have you ever realized that anxiety can never take root in the soil of the present? It is like a parasite, only able to exist and grow strong in the murky atmosphere of the future. A future inherently built only by the bricks of imagination. In Buddhist wisdom, healing has only one address to visit: this very moment. Yet, for so long, we seem to live in a silent escape from ourselves. You lie there, but your heart is anxiously arranging an event for next week, managing a scenario that has not yet happened, or preparing for storms that the sky may never bring. Kindred friend, understand this silent mechanism of the body. When your mind races forward to chase worries, your nervous system immediately identifies it as a red alert signal. Even if you are lying in the warmest and most comfortable room in the United States, if your mind is fighting a future difficulty, the brain will default to the belief that you are in danger. Instantly, life force is drained from internal organs to serve survival mode. You cannot patch up cells while simultaneously guarding against wild beasts. The door of recovery will slam shut as long as you let your mind wander into the future. The Buddha taught, the present is the most solid refuge, because only in the present are you truly safe. Right now, as darkness covers the space, I invite you to perform the most sacred act of returning home. Do not try to change any thoughts. Simply shift your attention. Gently recognize the cool airflow entering the nostrils and the soft warmth as the breath leaves. Feel the weight of your entire body being supported by the compassion of the mattress. Notice how the mattress is hugging your shoulders and back, silently and persistently. Identify the silence existing right between the beats of your heart. When you bring attention back to the actual sensations on the skin, you are sending a most decisive peace order to every nerve fiber. You are telling every cell, the war is over, danger is not here. Now, we are allowed to rest. In that moment of entrustment, a biological miracle will begin to operate. Muscles that have been silently tensed for so long will receive a permit to melt. Every burden of anxiety suddenly becomes weak because they have lost their fuel. Your distraction. You do not need to do anything to heal. You only need the courage to be present and let your being perform its natural function. Etch this truth to guide tonight's sleep. The moment you return to the present is also the moment your body truly begins its work of healing. Lesson 2. Acceptance, liberation for weary shoulders. Try to contemplate the image of a stone lying quietly at the bottom of a rushing stream. That stone does not tense up to block the water, nor does it try to push the water away. It simply lies there, letting the cool water embrace and glide over it. In Zen wisdom, This is the state of non-resistance, the greatest secret to dismantling every burden weighing down your body every night. Through many years of striving in a distant land, we unintentionally learned a weary psychological habit: silent resistance. When something undesirable happens, when the body begins to speak up due to age, or when a relationship is no longer what it was, your mind immediately utters a resolute "nah." We resent, we regret, and we argue with reality. Do you know that this very refusal in the consciousness is the spark creating physical tension within your nervous system? Undigested emotions, from anger toward loved ones, self-reproach for a past mistake, to vague fears of the future, do not disappear. They hide silently, crystallizing into knots in your muscle fibers, abdomen, and heavy shoulders. When you go to sleep with the mind still fighting, your body will never be allowed to relax completely. That protective armor always exists, preventing the life force of healing from seeping into every cell. Tonight, Buddhist wisdom invites you to perform an act of insight, redefine acceptance. Please empathize. Acceptance is not surrender, nor is it weakness or resignation to fate. Acceptance is the courage to open your spiritual palms, no longer gripping tightly to what is truly ended. Right now, as you lie in the silence of the dark, perform a subtle ritual of renunciation. Silently tell yourself, today is truly closed. Everything happened as it was meant to be. This very moment, I allow myself to reconcile with all. When you no longer want to rearrange the past, when you stop fixing today in your head, you will be amazed to realize a biological miracle. Your shoulders suddenly feel light, your heart rate becomes leisurely, and your breath automatically finds the harbor of depth. Etch this truth to be a warm blanket for your soul. Your body only truly rests when your mind stops fighting what already happened. Lesson 3. The mind is the guide for recovery. Imagine your mind right now is like a silent mail carrier, continuously sending thousands of messages to every cell in the temple of your body. In the wisdom of the Buddha, body and mind have never been two separate entities. They reflect and blend into each other like a shadow and its form. Every thought arising in your head is not just an invisible electric wave. It directly transforms into a chemical language determining your state of existence at this very moment. Kindred friend. For a long time, we have unintentionally let that mail carrier bring letters filled with threats. When you lie in the dark and let the mind busily weave assumptions about illness, loneliness, or the uncertainties of the world abroad, your brain immediately interprets that as a real attack. In that moment, it secretes flows of stress hormones, clouding the blood and locking the gateways of recovery. Your body cannot begin the work of overhaul if your mind never stops ordering it to be on combat duty. But the secret of transformation lies in this. As long as you change the content of the message, your entire internal biological state will change accordingly. Calm awareness is the button to activate the greatest human healing system. I invite you to contemplate a deep metaphor of Zen. See your mind as vast and pure as the boundless blue sky. And those flows of anxious thoughts? They are just clouds drifting across the sky of your being. Clouds may take terrifying shapes. They may be gloomy and gray. But look closely. No matter how fierce the storm, it can never damage or change the clear nature of the sky behind it. The sky never resists the clouds, nor does it ever identify itself with the clouds. The sky is simply open and lets that weather form pass freely across its territory. Tonight, before entering deep sleep, I invite you to practice the art of insight. Become the observer of thoughts instead of their victim. When an anxious idea arises, do not rush to believe it, nor try to chase it away. Just smile gently and identify, a cloud of anxiety is visiting. When you create this sacred distance, you are sending a supreme signal to the brain. There is no real danger here. Everything is just a temporary psychological event. Immediately, the nervous system will receive the order to disarm, making way for the radiant flow of healing life force. Etch this revelation to guide your soul. Your body will automatically perform the miracle of repair the moment your mind stops painting ghosts of danger. Lesson 4. Impermanence, the key to releasing long-held tension. Try to quietly watch the rhythm of the tide at the shore of a distant land at dusk. Each wave rises and then quietly recedes, rhythmic and endless. No wave stands still forever, nor does any flow of water refuse to return to the ocean. Kindred friend, the wisdom of impermanence. Anicca in Buddhism is a biological miracle capable of unlocking every shackle of stress weighing down your body. There is a compassionate truth that an anxious mind has hidden from you. Every emotion, every wave of stress or anxiety is actually only a temporary biological state. From a scientific perspective, they are merely electrochemical vibrations and hormone flows with a natural cycle of birth and death. Anxiety inherently only wants to pass through you like a wind blowing past a tree branch. Yet, our silent tragedy is often trying to freeze those waves. When pressure strikes, instead of letting it flow away, we use resistance to grip it tightly. We lock pain in tensed shoulders, imprison irritation in a constricted abdomen, and hide fear in gasping breath. This very act of holding on has turned emotions that were meant to be temporary into chronic blocks of stress, silently eroding your life force year after year. Tonight, before closing your eyes, the wisdom of mindfulness invites you to perform a sacred shift. Allow emotion to fulfill its true function to flow away. Do not try to solve sadness. Do not strive to destroy stress. Simply open your spiritual palms and say, "All right, you may pass through me." The moment you stop touching emotion with resentment or denial, your nervous system will receive a supreme order of liberation. When encountering no obstruction, the energies that have been congested for so long will automatically dissolve, making way for the life force to circulate smoothly again. Etch this final affirmation to soothe body and mind. At the moment you courageously stop holding stress, your body will inherently understand how to let it go. Lesson 5. Letting go of control, the threshold of deep recovery. Look at the hands of your soul right at this moment. Through more than half a century of striving, the world has taught us that to have happiness and safety, we must know how to hold on. We hold on to achievements, on to reputation, and strive to hold on to the future of those we love. However, there is a naked truth that the Buddha's wisdom wants to awaken in you. Most of our anxiety actually sprouts from an illusion called control. We often enter sleep with the mindset of a director trying to arrange the entire script of life. You lie there, but the mind is busily seeking solutions for family conflicts, managing the success of children, or anxiously arranging plans abroad. We mistakenly think that if we manage thoroughly enough tonight, we will prevent the uncertainties of tomorrow. But kindred friend, understand this silent mechanism. When you try to solve your life right on your bed, you are sending an alarm signal to the brain. The problem is not finished. We are not allowed to rest. In that moment, your nervous system is locked in a state of high vigilance. Your body may be motionless under warm blankets, but inside, the sentry stays awake to protect your roles. A nervous system busy with control will never have enough space to activate deep recovery mode. In Buddhist wisdom, true freedom does not come from arranging the world out there, but from sacred entrustment. Letting go of control is not weakness or indifference, it is the pinnacle of wisdom. You still do your best with devotion, but you courageously loosen your spiritual hands from the final result. You accept a profound reality. Life is inherently full of uncertainties, and it is in that uncertainty that life force has the chance to flourish. Tonight, I invite you to perform a great energy shift. Replace tightening with floating. When you courageously let go of the desire to control all things, the parasympathetic nervous system will immediately receive a ceasefire order. Your heart rate slows, blood pressure stabilizes, and the door to deep recovery will automatically fling open. You are no longer the weary traveler trying to push against the current. You become the river, leisurely and freely flowing toward the ocean of ease. Etch this affirmation to soothe your being before drifting into deep sleep. True healing only begins to shine at the very moment that control completely ends. Lesson 6. Self-compassion. The safe space for recovery. Listen carefully to the silent voice echoing inside your mind right now. As night falls, amidst the silence of the room abroad, what is that voice whispering? Is it a secret reproach for things you did not complete today? A harsh judgment of the limitations of age, or a late regret for some past mistake? Kindred friend, we often unintentionally become the harshest judge of ourselves. We treat the world with compassion, but treat our own being with the lashes of criticism. You need to understand a silent mechanism of the nervous system. Every time you judge yourself, the brain immediately interprets it as an attack. In that moment, the nervous system identifies that the environment inside you is unsafe. Consequently, muscles tighten again, stress hormones secrete again, and the door to the kingdom of healing is closed once more. The wisdom of the Buddha teaches compassion, karuna, and that compassion must start from your own heart for yourself. Self-compassion is not selfish indulgence, but a courageous act to establish an absolute safe space for the nervous system. Only when your mind stops being a battlefield of self-reproach can your body truly be allowed to lay down its arms. Tonight, before completely melting into dreams, I invite you to perform an inner dialogue full of love. Instead of playing the judge, play the role of a soulmate, tenderly soothing a weary child. Gently whisper to yourself, "You have worked hard. You have done the best you could. Right now, you are allowed to be okay. You deserve to be loved and to rest." Feel the warmth of these words spread, softening the tensed nerve areas. When you change your internal language from judgment to soothing, you are sending a supreme order to every cell. The war is truly over. Our master has reconciled with themselves. Now we can recover. Etch this affirmation to be a soft pillow for your soul. Your body will perform the healing. Lesson 7. Entering sleep with the light of awareness. Contemplate the miraculous moment of transition when night begins to draw its curtain over all things. It is a fragile threshold where the world of action closes and the kingdom of rest begins to open. Kindred friend, the wisdom of mindfulness points to a profound truth that a busy life has unintentionally obscured. The quality of the entire overhaul inside you does not depend on how long you sleep, but on your state of consciousness the moment you step over that threshold. Most of us fall into sleep in a daze and exhaustion. We collapse into bed after a long day of worrying abroad, letting muddled thoughts take us into dreams aimlessly. However, Zen masters never let themselves be swallowed by sleep like that. To them, the moment of closing the eyelids is a solemn ritual of awareness. They understand that the few short minutes before the heart rate slows are the golden time to reprogram the entire nervous system. If you step into the darkness with a heart still on combat duty, the brain will carry that state of insecurity deep into the subconscious. You may be asleep, but the sentry inside stays awake to watch over the ghosts of anxiety. Tonight, I invite you to perform a great identity shift. Stop being a hunter of sleep, become one who opens the door to receive healing. Instead of using willpower to force yourself to sleep, an act that inherently only increases tension, perform a sacred act of entrustment. Take a very soft breath, feel the rhythmic pulse of your being, and gently tell yourself, "There is no more worldly business now. I am completely present here to allow the rebirth to take place." When you enter sleep with compassionate awareness, sleep is no longer an interruption of consciousness, but becomes a healing ritual. You no longer chase peace in the future, because you realize peace is soaking into every present breath. The moment you choose calm instead of agitation as your baggage for entering the dark, you are giving your body an invaluable gift, an atmosphere of absolute safety for the life force to be reborn most brilliantly. Etch this final affirmation to guide your soul. Sleep will fully perform its healing function. the moment you courageously enter the darkness with a heart that is completely reconciled and at peace. Let the silence now gently envelop you, like the night mist silently soaking into the Mother Earth abroad. We have traveled together through 7 paths of wisdom, not to carry more heavy knowledge, but to untie every binding string, returning to the being its inherent ease. Kindred friend, understand a compassionate truth before you truly melt into the dream world. Your body, though it has gone through many years of hardship, has not for a single second stopped its effort to heal you. Your only task tonight is not to use willpower to fix yourself. True healing has never required striving. It only patiently waits for a sacred permission from you. Right now, as the boundary between waking and sleeping begins to blur, I invite you to perform one last gesture of entrustment. Gently drop every story of today right outside the threshold. Bring the mind back to take refuge completely in the rhythmic breath of the life force. Do nothing. Let the body breathe itself, let the heart beat itself, and let the light of mindfulness silently nourish every weary cell. Rest in the compassionate arms of nature, for you are truly protected and loved. Praying for you a long and very peaceful night and a brilliant morning of rebirth in boundless joy. Goodbye, and sleep very well.